Back 3 rows for you folks there.
Welcome to the Office of Mental Health Spring 2025 Training Academy graduation. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Present. March.
I pledge allegiance to the Thank you. Please be seated.
Order. March. Take seats.
Good morning. I'm Denise Hoteling, Director of Environmental Health and Safety. I would like to start our presentation today by extending my sincerest gratitude. I would like to start by a huge thank you to our officers' families and loved ones. Your patience as they work to fulfill their training requirements is profoundly appreciated. We know that it has not been easy. The sacrifices made to support your loved ones has not gone unnoticed. I want to thank our host facility, Mohawk Valley Psychiatric Center, for generously opening their doors to our academy. Thank you to our chiefs who provide leadership and mentorship to our officers across the state. Thank you to our academy instructors for your tireless efforts to ensure a successful and safe academy. Special thank you to Chief Isaac Rodriguez for your role as our academy director. This academy would not have been possible without your efforts and your leadership. Thank you, Mike Esmalik, for being part of our training team and helping us develop and strengthen the vision of our training program. We are grateful to have you on our team. And finally, an acknowledgement of gratitude to our director, who is not able to be here today, Marshall Vitalik, for his tireless support of our safety and security program. To our newest peace officers, I have had the privilege to attend a previous academy and portions of this academy. During that time, I have had a front row seat to view unprecedented professional and personal growth. I know the extraordinary strength and determination it takes to make it through the academy, especially during defensive tactics. During the past 7 weeks, you have persevered and supported each other as a team. You should be so proud of all your accomplishments. I know I am beyond proud that you represent the Office of Mental Health. I am hopeful that your academy experience will provide you with the foundation to meet everyday challenges, have confidence in your work, and have the knowledge to help you succeed. On the front of today's program, you will find the words integrity, vigilance, and service. So what do these words mean? And how will they be a principle in your everyday work? Integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. This is the basis of being a peace officer, not only in your work, but in your everyday life. Vigilance is the action of keeping careful watch for possible danger and difficulties. The OMH patients, staff, and surrounding communities will lean on you to protect them. Service is the action of providing help to others. This one is probably the most important. I ask that you meet every day and every person with a service-centered approach. Above all, I hope that you have learned that kindness and compassion are the foundation of your role. Finally, I want to thank you all for your perseverance, your service, and your dedication to the mission of the Office of Mental Health. Congratulations to you all. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Isaac Rodriguez, the Chief of Training and Academy Director.
Good morning, friends, family, and soon-to-be graduates of Class 2025-1. Thank you for being here with us on this lovely late morning. Our mission here is to train peace officers for the Office of Mental Health. To be a peace officer is to have a career dedicated to the service of the people. As these officers will tell you, the range of needed skills and knowledge is vast, but more importantly, the desire and willpower to learn and overcome is the real key to the success story sitting in front of you today. These officers have spent well over 200 hours here, 7 weeks worth of instruction. They have been instilled with the duty of civil service, though I suppose they would tell you that defensive tactics was probably the most challenging. Earned by spending many hours on the mat, these officers learned how to protect themselves and others from harm, pushing on despite being tired, even when it felt too tough to overcome. Our defensive tactics final test and reality-based training modules place these officers in the tense, demanding series of scenarios to make them feel uncertain and exhausted. And despite how tough it was, despite feeling tired and uncertain and exhausted, they all failed. They've earned their bruises fairly. Some may say that this level of training is unnecessary. Yet, several times in recent years, we've had major line of duty incidents for law enforcement across our country, not to mention various assaults and injuries that happen in our own agency. For as long as we have been a republic, names such as Lieutenant Husak, Officer Jensen, Officer Ayers, Officer Polachek, Deputy Marshal Weeks, Deputy Marshal Elliott, have been etched into the granite walls of the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. All of these officers had careers that commenced in academies not too dissimilar from this one. Along with their names are the words of Roman Senator Cornelius Tacitus, "In valor there is hope." The deeper meaning of those simple 5 words is so that as long as we have peace officers, the valors they demonstrate gives us hope that our republic will be preserved. This morning we presented our officers with their badges. There are many titles within the Office of Mental Health, but we are the only title that wears a badge. It is the symbol that now identifies them as peace officers. Yet the badge does not belong to them. It may say New York State on it, but the badge belongs to the profession. We wear it because we are now a part of this profession. There are many who have gone before us and have worn that badge and have built up what it means to be a peace officer, but we have no apprehension. Because it is not we who are the future of this agency, but these trainees. We're very much like us, with more of our strengths and fewer of our weaknesses. More confident, more seen, capable, and prudent. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, these officers will be found equal to every emergency in the future, as we have in the past. And we regard them as worthy successors of the long line of officers who have served as keepers of peace for the Office of Mental Health. Before I conclude, I would like to thank also Mohawk Valley Psychiatric Center for hosting us again and to be our long-term host in the future. I'd like to thank Mike Ismail. Mike brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to training, and every year he finds new efficiencies that allows us to take administrative time and translate that into training time, which is invaluable to us. I'd like to thank Denise Hotelling. She is the critical link between safety services and central office, and her trust in the program is the only reason why it continues to improve every year. For that, for us, and for all the people who benefit from safety services, we are thankful. He wasn't able to make it today, but I wanted to thank E.J. Weeks from the Division of Criminal Justice Services. Sometimes when you're doing the right thing, it can be hard to tell if you're doing anything right at all. E.J. came in and with his experience told us that our program was excellent. And for my staff, that means a lot. To him, we thank you. To my academy instructors who spend countless hours away from their homes, their families, and their regular lives, but specifically to my defensive tactics instructors who on top of being away from their homes and their families and their regular lives, also have the added mileage on their bodies from hundreds of hours on the mat, and who bear the responsibility for passing along the information that keeps people safe. To my family, the families of my staff, and trainees who had to hold down the home front while we were gone, we are exceptionally thankful. And finally, class, after 7 long weeks, tremendous effort, your part, you earned the badge of New York State Peace Officer. It is certainly an outstanding achievement. You've earned the admiration and respect of all of those you have met along your path. Today is about you, and your achievements, and your careers. Yet, that shiny new badge of trust and authority that you now have means something else. It means that, after today, it's no longer about you anymore. It's about the people that you serve. This Republic's Constitution that you swore to uphold. It's about your brother and sister officer seated beside you. And finally, it is about the duty of the peace officer. Instilled with the trust by the people we serve, handed down to us by Pusak, Jensen, Ayers, Weeks, Polachek, Elliott, and all the other names in that Grendel wall, who, by their bravery and sacrifice, bestow greater hope for our law. Today, your careers commence. But like those who've gone before you, your career is only just starting. Many challenges lie ahead of you. When you feel tired, it seems too tough, when you feel uncertain and exhausted, remember that you too are a peace officer. From your valor, we all have hope. Thank you. Stay safe out there. Ladies and gentlemen, New York's newest peace officers.
Lycus Malik, if you could come up and say a few words. Just a few.
Just because I take the role of Johnny Cash and Man in Black doesn't mean I'm a funeral director. So I usually do a little bit of lighter than what you just had Chief Rodriguez do.
Justin.
You already know who I am, but my background is in law enforcement training. I started my training career in 1991. Came up to the top of the gate. But I've gone through every position in the academy. I've trained, certified in all of it. Federal, state, trained military, states, federal, local, Canadians. That's why my previous bosses who used to do what I do now, was having a long job. Their contract was coming up. They called me and said, Mike, you did our job for us for years. You took care of us. Our trained thousands. And Mike, you could take the reins and come over and do a little bit more me. So I did. And as Chief Rodriguez says, I'm finding things to make your academy better. You have a short period of time, 7 weeks. You can only fit so much in a lot into a box. We need to make the best of our time and what we do. And with that being said, you know, the thanks sitting behind us. She allows us to do this. The chief over there with his drive. Those instructors in the back. Usually when I talk, if you guys remember, I just walk around without a piece of paper. This class here, I have 8 pages. Every one of you is going to get this. The reason being is when they designed where the academy was, they put me in a office right by the exit door. So every time these recruits would have to go out, they had to pass me. Every time we had a little banter back and forth. But thank you, the loved ones and friends, for your support. They know what it's like to be away from home for long periods of time, come home and have support. The administrators also. Without you guys saying, hey, I need training. I wish you would say, I want more training. We can do more for you guys. Need support from the guys in the white shirts, really. That's how it changes. academy staff. Those people back there, as been said already, they leave home to come here. They do more for your recruits than you understand. They're willing to stay after the 4 o'clock hour to do it. They're willing to give themselves. That is something. Most instructors, you go to different academies, they punch the clock and they leave. They don't do anything extra unless they're getting a dime for it. These people aren't. Their heart's in it. I want to thank Officer Merritt. Where is he? Right back there. He's not a member of the academy staff, but he was a valuable asset. On day 1 or day 2, he came in and he opened up. He's a jiu-jitsu instructor. He opened up his dojo. I'm not a karate guy or but he opened up his dojo for these people to come if they wish. And he assisted on our test day. Excellent. He's an excellent instructor. Chad Rose, where are you? He's a former recruit of mine. Here. And he's got started mentoring a little bit into the defensive tactics. Go to our next defensive tactics school. Very good officer. That's what we're looking for. We hope to see your faces in a year or 2 years. I know a few of you already said, I want to be an instructor. Because you make the most change in your agency right there as an instructor. Not just doing your officer job. Anybody can do that who's got the training. But coming in like those people do, you make the best change. Now it's your turn. Oh. So on day 1, I know from running a lot of academy classes, when I talk a lot, you have to bring the class together. You have people from all over the state. We have people from everywhere. And they're strangers to each other, and they're stressed. But how do you do this? They know they have to take tests. They know they got to do this DT thing. So we need to bring them together. And there's ways as an instructor you do that. You utilize people within the class. So I had one person that on day 1 when they introduced themselves, he said some things. We said, you know what? I was the first instructor that I had to teach class. I said, I'm going to do something with that individual. So Morty, come on up here. Telling you a little bit about himself. He's from Kansas. Well, what's from Kansas? Corn and Dorothy and her red slippers. Yeah. So on the first day, when I'm teaching, I says, Marty, stand up. And he stands up. I go, no, like a Marine at attention. Because he said he's a Marine. San Diego, Hollywood Marine. So he stands up. And I'm going, I want you to do this. I said, I want you to start clicking your heels together and saying, there's no place like that. So he started, and all of a sudden, everybody catches up. So we break the ice. So the next day, I call him up. I have him stand up. I have him stand up. And I said, class, who does he look like? Who does he look like? And then he just strikes his little pose. I said, Doug Heffernan, King of Queens. There he is. There he is. He's got a pose going on. So, sit down. Now I got to, no, not you. So the next day, he's there. I said, come on up here again. I said, who's familiar with the old Gomer Pyle TV show from the 60s? Gunny Sergeant Vincent Carter. Just like him, too. So, he, all through the academy, I kept talking to him, and bringing him up and stuff. And so, last week, the academy sergeant comes. And we had a lot of conversations back and forth, like I said, what my office was. They were told anytime they want to come, knock on the door, and come and talk. So he says, yeah, Mike, you got a little hard on him. I said, there's a reason. There wasn't hard on him. I said, you'll find out why. And then I kind of told him, I said, this is to bring the class together. You have to have a catalyst. And he was part of helping this class come. Right, guys? Yeah. So what I did I put something together for him. I put. King of Queens and Sergeant Vince Carter. And I officially titled this the Good Guy Award. This was excellent. So, I got their photos, and when I start talking to them, and you get something. You look at them. So immediately I started looking at their names. The first name that pops up, because he's sitting in the front row, was this class sergeant. I go, Croce. He said, are you related to Jim Croce? And I grew up, I'm 69 years old, so I grew up in the 60s and 70s listening to music. Oh, famous song Jim Croce had. That was his nickname. Bad Leroy Brown. That was his nickname. I gave everybody a nickname or so. Then I looked a little bit to the right, and I found a famous explorer. The guy's last name is Santa Maria. Where's the Nina? Where's the Pinta? I got the Santa Maria. So he was Columbus throughout there. So again, bringing everybody out. So every time you say something, someone smiles. The tension goes away. We started doing the penal law. And at the beginning of class, I told these guys, what were you going to learn? What language? The bull. French and Greek. How to read Greek, because when you read the New York State penal law, it's like Greek, if you're not Greek. You're looking at these things. And then we learned something which would keep them out of trouble. If they remember, the levels of DeBoer in New York State were very restrictive in certain things. And so I had them always say, DeBoer. The levels of DeBoer, which is a New York State case, when they can come up and talk to somebody without getting in trouble. Everybody's got rights. So you have to do it legally. And if you know those things, you will be safe in your profession. So we started doing that. When we started taking exams every single morning at 7:40. And I got there every morning at 7 o'clock with Mr. Parker back there, Officer Parker, who's opening the door. And at 7:15, I would be doing extra help for people if they wanted extra penal law questions and stuff. And when we go over it, so we started doing that stuff, and we go over the test. And I noticed by the third week, we're starting to come together. But there was this one question on the test that 5 or 6 people got, 7 people got wrong, and they wanted to discuss it, because there's no such argument, there's no such thing as arguing with the instructor. No, because you're going to lose. We discuss. So we started discussing things. And there were some people sitting in those rooms, you know how it goes when you've been in a classroom, some people don't say anything. They're just going to blend into the wall. We had a few like that. So one of those people who wasn't saying a damn thing the whole time, he all of a sudden puts his hand up. He's got something to say. And he's, okay, say your piece. And he discusses it, and he had a legitimate answer to it. And I said, okay, because he did that, I will give all of you credit for it. If that answer never came up the way he said it, he goes, second language guy. He would take his test. I have to say, so he'd have his glasses down the end of his nose. He'd be sitting in his chair, and if you ever went to Catholic school and stuff, you had to sit erect in those damn chairs. His back was straight, his arms were like this, and he'd read, just like I told everybody. Read, continue reading, and he would do that. But he is the one that came up with a good reason why I should give the credit. And I made them do that. I'm not going to be one of the ones that say, okay, it's not good for you, okay, I'll give you it. I want them to figure it out themselves. I learned a long time from my first sergeant, you don't give the answer because they already have the answer. You get it from them. And that's what I tried to do with them. And many of them, they stepped right up. So, I got 8 notes. I like doing all this stuff. So we stopped in the third week again. I had 2 people stop by my office. I had Russell and Kennedy stop by. And Kennedy's talking about it, you know, the tests and stuff like that, you know, a question. And all of a sudden I hear from the back, "Oh, Golden Boy." And then Kennedy looks, he says, "What do you want, Raptor?" So it was, I guess Russell ran like this, like a raptor. And Kennedy, he did a good job. I guess he thought he was better than the others. So, I don't know. Roberts. Where's Roberts? Where's your fashion man today? This guy would show up. I don't know, you have about 4 different jackets. He had this one jacket that looked so nice. I said, "Can I touch it?" You know, it was so nice and soft. And he had a different ball cap all the time, too. Fobbs. Fobbs, I got something for you, too. Fobbs would stop by my office. "Mr. Mike, sir, you are one of the best instructors I ever had." Listen, he buttered me up. Butter me up. I was sitting there, I've been through this before. He butters me up. So one day, we get on, start talking about ice cubes. Ice cubes, what good ice cube in a bourbon? What's a good ice cube in a scotch? What's this? What type of ice cubes? I'm going, "Oh, okay." So you're into ice cubes. Here's an extra one I have. Remember we talked about mini ice cubes? That's yours. Two of the happiest and smiling guys in the academy. These guys, they had this grin. It's called a such eating grin. All the time. All the time. Happy. You know, even if they failed the test, they were happy. Mulcanary and Keeley. They're smiling today. They're even smiling when I mispronounce the name. There's Luna. Don't change another damn answer. He'd either change an answer or leave it blank. And what the hell is this? Every time he took the test, I go, "What are you changing?" And I told him all the time, 95% of the time when you come to an answer, right, these test taking civil service, that's the one you stay with. Not him. He's always fighting me. The last one. This guy here. Now, I was right by the exit. So they'd go outside at break time. The door was open. He'd hold court with a little posse out there, talking. I'm a firearms guy. And he starts talking about revolvers one day. And I'm listening, because I started on a revolver. And I'm listening, I'm going, "Yeah, he's got some of that stuff down there," but every day he holds court out there. He kept the class going, his part. Biankowski. At first, he'd be walking by, he goes, "Mike, I got a question." Okay. 10 minutes later, "Mike, I got a question." 2, 3 times. And then every day it was. And then it became a running joke with him. He always had a question for him. Brunson. Brunson was one of the nicest recruits I've ever had. So, every morning, "Hi, Mike." "Goodbye, Mike." It made me feel good. It was a very nice person. I already talked about my second language guy. Jump forward. Schleg, where am I? Slide. All right. I'm old. This guy would show up in the morning. He's another happy guy. He'd walk in there. I'm a BOSAR instructor, behavioral observation guy. And I watch everything. I look at everything. And I'm watching him coming in with these white flip-flops. Every morning. Every morning he had them damn shoes on. And his blue uniform on. Didn't go. Goulburn. He gets the award for the best French accent when he says "the bug." You're good. Chavry. Yeah, your time. So Chavry would take his test, you know, or when we did practice stuff. come in, I mark the things wrong, go back to my office, I say, hey, and I tell them the correct answer before I leave. I said, you have questions, come to my office. He'd show up. I said, okay, I'll get his test out. And he's put his finger on that test and he's going, I know I got it. I go, you did. It's wrong. Then I take my book out. I took the New York Appeal Law book. I go, here it is. No, I got it somewhere. He goes, no, it's wrong. So we did this a couple times. On his final. He's doing his final. He goes, Mike, question, he's just like this, Mike. So I'm not used to being talked like that, you know. I go over and he goes, and he's got his finger on the paper. He goes, I know it's here. And I keep telling him, keep reading. You gotta keep reading that Greek word. You just keep reading, you'll come to it. And he's going, no. I go, keep reading. And then I finally said, it's right there! So, I got something for you. Next time you gotta take a test, you put those glasses on. They're reading solid. Kadick, very serious gal. Hard worker. Sometimes she just doesn't know her limitations. So, first, she used to call me Michael. Everybody called me Uncle Mike, whatever. She's Michael. I thought my mother was in the room. But one day she wanted to have a competition. So, okay. So we did a thumb wrestle. My thumb was chopped off a number of years ago. You cannot So we're sitting there, I go, come on, when are you going to give up? There you are, Katie. Green Howard. There you are. Last week you had oh, nervous, going back and forth in the hallways and all. She got nervous Nelly. So finally I said, you're all set. All of a sudden it was like 300 pounds taken off her shoulder. She was a whole different person. Nice, smiley, everything you get. You know, live life to its fullest. Don't worry so much. Lawrence. Yeah. Lawrence, when I did her notebook inspection, she took some very good notes. Very good notes. Thought. During DT testing, her vocabulary really expanded when she was given commands, and even Denise calls me. But she got the job done. And I told her, I said, you can have my back in an alley any day. That was good. Springer, very polite right from the beginning, but she also has a dark side. That came out good. Yeah. And she goes, I normally don't say that. And I said, it didn't happen overnight. Richburg, Sizik, and Georgescu. They didn't say boo. 6 weeks go by. Friday, the DT testing is over. Next thing I know, half hour each, they're standing next to me going, da 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 da. I'm dead. Break that stuff down and you know, put that stress away. This job is full of stress. As a law enforcement officer, it's stressful. You have, as you see, I try to bring humor into a lot of things to relieve that stuff. I didn't bring my stuff home. I said, I'll suffer enough with the stuff I did and I saw. I don't want my wife and my kids to do it. But you have to find a way of getting rid of it. I use humor. Which, I think I got everybody. Do I have everybody? Did I mention everybody?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you just jogged my memory. So on the first day, I'm looking at the names when they told me, thank you for mentioning it. Yes, sir. Nobody else said it. See, the team came together there. Got one for you. So, last name is Mathis. I love Johnny Mathis songs. Christmas album. So I came up, wonderful. I gave him, I said, hey, I'd like to have you sing a song or two. I gave him a couple songs that Johnny sang, and he came up with one. What was the one he came up with? I don't sing. I know what was it? Fly Me to the Moon. Fly Me to the Moon. Frank Sinatra. So, come on up here. Did I not tell you I was going to call you up here? Turn around. Turn around. Okay. Every class, it's a tradition for me. My wife did this for me when I graduated. This is yours. Okay. Pen and pen set. At the beginning of the class, I start looking at these recruits taking notes. See their attitude, their academics, when they're in DT. I ask other instructors how these people are, what they think of them, the good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. This guy was always at the top of a lot of their lists, and at the top of my list. So I present one set each class I come with. I pick one recruit out of the class, and I give it to him. And you earned it this time. I'm done. Thank you again, class. You were a good class.
Now for a statement from the spring 2025 Class Sergeant, Officer Joshua Croce.
No idea how to beat that. Give it a shot. Good morning, distinguished guests, instructors, families, friends, my fellow officers. It is an absolute honor to stand here before you today as the Class Sergeant of Peace Officer Academy 2025 TAC 1 for the New York State Office of Mental Health. When we first walked into this academy, we were individuals from different places, different backgrounds, different stories. But over the last few weeks, we've become more than just classmates. We've become a team, and more importantly, a family. A unit united by one mission, to protect, serve, and support some of the most vulnerable individuals in our state. When the position of Class Sergeant was announced, it wasn't actually something I specifically wanted, because I had to stand here and talk. But during our time here together, I've begun to look forward to this moment, so I can tell all of you how proud I am. This isn't easy, but it was never supposed to be. We were pushed physically, mentally, emotionally, and every single day we rose to meet that challenge. We trained under pressure. We studied with tired eyes, and we showed up, even if it would have been easier to quit. But that's what this job demands, and that's what we have proven we can deliver. There's a quote shared with me recently that came at the perfect time. It's from President Theodore Roosevelt's Man in Need for Speed. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is married by dust and sweat and blood, who strives vitality, who errs, who comes short again and again. But there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. In a world with many critics, I urge you to remember your time here. The blood, sweat, and tears that we put into this worthy cause. Above all, as Mike said before, please remember your poor little and stay out of Ohio. To our instructors, thank you. You didn't just teach us policy and tactics. You taught us accountability, discipline, and the weight of the shield we now carry. You held us to a higher standard, and we will honor that every time we put on this uniform. To our families and loved ones, thank you for your patience, your sacrifices, and your support. You carried us through the long drives, the stressful days. You kept us going even when we were bruised and battered. And that means more to us than you'll ever know. To my brothers and sisters in 2025 TAC 1, I'm proud of every single one of you. You trained hard, you stood tall, we learned not just how to protect others, but how to watch each other's back. And that's what makes us strong. We are not just peace officers. We are guardians of compassion, defenders of dignity, and a voice for those who often go unheard. We carry both strength and empathy, force and understanding. And as we walk into our careers, may we never forget the responsibility that comes with the badge and the heart that must be behind it. Class of 2025 TAC 1, we started this journey with grit, and today we end it with pride. Now it's time to serve.
Next, we will invite our officers up to the stage to receive their certificates.
Christopher Bankowski. Alex Chavre. Joshua Croce, class valedictorian. Irene Bobs. Lucas Gorgeski. Marlon Goldburn. Alyssa Greenhoward. Lawrence. Terry Luna. Naeem Mavis. Donald Cuccineri. Alexi Padunian.
Hell yeah. Let it run. It just was combat.